Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Papyrus Motorsports Park here in Waltham, Massachusetts for the third running of the NNSCRA Honeydew Donuts 250K. Qualifying occurred Saturday afternoon, and we are here getting ready for the race Monday evening. And 43 laps of action on tap as the skies darken under cloudy conditions. Matt McIntire, your pole sitter for the third running of this event, with Christian Vargas to his right side. Row 2 is Michael Norman and Lane Sanders. Row 3, Trey Smith and Austin Tyler. Row 4, Jonathan Zorlin and Carl Hopper. And in row 5, Miles Mashburn and Jesse Turner. Will go through the rest of the starting grid here. It is expected the pit window should be about 9 to 11 laps. There is a stage caution at the end of lap 14, start of lap 15. That'll stack the field back up. And of course, there will be cautions for any accidents that occur that are deemed track hazardous. Meaning, so like if say there's just a single car spin and it doesn't involve a lot of people, like say it just involves one person or two people, two cars, trucks, whatever, that will stay green for stuff like that. But if it's a big pile up, the caution will be thrown. You'll see this little box here pop up, and you'll see me type in there as we're going to be doing all this stuff live thanks to the new EXE additions to this game. Thank you, Tyler Mallon, for everything you've done for this stuff, man. This stuff is amazing. Christian Russell is our defending race winner from December 2020, which is the last time this event was run. I previously stated in the qualifying video that this race was run in January of 2020, I believe it was, but that is incorrect. Actually, I got it mixed up. So this race was run in January of 2020, not December of 2020. See, I'm still out of it, guys. It's 2:40 in the afternoon, and I'm still out of it. But anyway, so 43 lap race. Stage yellow at the end of lap 14. Last time we had this event was January 2020, almost a full 2 years since the last running of this event. First event was run January 2019 with trucks, slightly different bodies than these trucks you see before you today, but expecting some similar racing from that event, but cooler conditions, 44 degrees out with a little bit of wind in the northeast direction. So we'll see how that wind plays into the draft, but these trucks will get up to about 195 miles an hour going down into turn 1. Pace truck dives it off the pit lane. No problems for anybody on the grid. And McIntire will lead him here to the green flag. We are green flag racing from Massachusetts. See, as the trucks get up to speed, McIntire will clear Vargas there. Norman will not make a peak in turn 2. But Trey Smith will make it 3 wide off the corner as they head into turn 3 and down into the lone right-hander of the course, turn 4. And this is where things can get dangerous as Mashburn has been spun into the outside wall. Will anybody else hit him? No. And we will stay green for the time being. They head to the hard left-hander of turn 5. Mashburn was spun. We'll look at all incidents when we can. The top 2 of McIntire and Vargas have pulled away from the field. Mashburn continues to go, but they are 4 wide here through turn 6. The heavy draft section of this racetrack. But Mashburn starting in the top 10, not the way he wanted his race to start. Will he pull it down into the pit lane? No, he will not, so he stays on track. As mentioned, solo spin. We stay green. As almost 4 wide here in the turn 2 was Aaron Abel and Wes McCoy there in the 76. Still trying to learn all these names. There you see the skid marks from the 74. It's Austin Tyler on the right side, inside there of Zorlin. Lane Sanders peeking his nose, was thinking about going 3 wide. Tire fall off should hit about 2.5 to 3.5 seconds, as it's still McIntire and Vargas at the front with Norman and Trey Smith third and fourth. Just kind of, I'm going to keep looking at the back of the field just in case something happens. Don't want to miss it on the lap it occurs. But here you see the draft run. Big run here from Michael Norman. He'll pull out on Christian Vargas as Trey Smith does the same to him. Norman will not get enough to make a move on the 54, and that'll allow Smith to get to his inside into turn 1. As here comes Sorlin, Austin Tyler, and Lane Sanders hauling the mail into turn 2. And you can see that the extent of that draft and flat out part of the track goes from basically turn 6 all the way down around into turn 1. And then this is like the slow part of the track in the middle here, turn 4 and 5. But so far, no one has been able to challenge Matt McIntyre. Fastest lap right now, draft laps, of course. 116, 164 by Trey Smith, and a 185 by Michael Norman, who was shuffled back to 6 as Tyler and Zorlin passed him as well. Sanders 7th, Fitzwater 8th, Cologne 9th, and Turner round out the top 10. As you can see, these guys back here are pretty much just full on draft mode, single file. Smith and Zorlin will make a move. Tyler thinking about one as well. And now Vargas will make a move at the start-finish line. To the inside he goes. After 3 laps, Matt McIntyre will lose the race lead. And Trey Smith will look for it in turn 2. Now side by side, about 3 rows deep here, as Zorlin, recent NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series champion, looking to get to the front. He won at this track, actually, in the playoffs this past year, so he knows his way around this road course. McIntyre is peeking the nose there on the quarter panel. Still no other incidents, as you see, taking a look at some of the guys at the back. James Qualls, Logan York, Boston Jones, Brandon Mayhew, RJ Rosero, Ellison, Brock, Dylan Young, Oskin, and others. Just trying to get screen time here for everybody so everyone knows where they're at. See, Christian Russell has moved forward up to 25th. Diego Yepes, LJ Toledo just inside the top 20 now after passing, or maybe not being passing somebody. Where's 20th? There's 20th. That was Charles Sanford. He's up to 19th. Nareza is down to 20th. But so far, we remain green. Sanford all over the bumper of Richard Johnson. Vince Freeze in the top 20. And a big gaggle of trucks now at the front of the field. They are 3 wide for the lead. That's McIntyre, Tyler, and Fitzwater. And it has heated up here at the front of the field, as McIntyre takes back the race lead. Tyler looking to get a run on him. 3 wide behind them. Sanders almost bouncing it off the apron. Tyler peeking the nose there on McIntyre through turn 6. Sorlin getting a huge run here off the corner. He'll take a look here coming onto the front straightaway. Sanders thinking about giving him help. And Tyler doing the same thing Vargas did a couple of laps ago. Makes the move at the start-finish line. That seems to be the perfect spot to make a move into turn 1. And now Zorlin will look to the inside of Tyler in turn 2. So far, Mashburn is only about 2 seconds off the pace, so it doesn't seem that this truck is too heavily damaged. But several drivers at the back just can't get anything going. They're just stuck in a single file draft line here. A lot of movement going on up here, though. In the middle of the top 20. So far, the favorites all seem to be at the front of the field. Tyler will perhaps hold off Sorlin here, or will Sorlin get a run? No, Tyler should get the momentum here to clear him into turn 6. Look at the moves by Lane Sanders and Jesse Turner. And Turner gets to the inside of Christian Vargas. Matt McIntire to the outside of Jonathan Zorlin. Sanders will get to his inside as well. And there are a lot of people making moves here. There's the 50 of Alexander Rowe. He almost came close to a win at this track in the same race Sorlin won in the Digital Storm Cup Series. Sorlin took the lead there after the line. Tyler is going to fall back several positions. So we are about halfway now to the end of the stage. We should expect these drivers to come into pit around the next 2 laps or so. It's Vargas peeking on the inside of Tyler. Almost 3 wide situation there. Fitzwater is 3 wide though, with Michael Norman and some others behind, as Sanders looks on the inside of Zorlin for the race lead. And McIntire will once again be trapped on the top side through turn 6. I do not believe Mashburn will fall a lap down here. He's not that far off the pace. Sorlin leads at the start-finish line. Sanders looks to his inside. And Rowe to the inside of McIntire. As Seth Cole has found his way inside the top 10. Enzo Nereza also moving towards the front. Pair of Toyota drivers. No new fast lap, but you see a lot of guys ran 2s and 3s since the last time we looked at this sheet. 31 total drivers running a lap faster than a 117. As Mashburn is the only one who has yet to set a good lap. After all, he was turned on the first lap. Mashburn doesn't appear to have significant aero damage. He basically got turned right next to the wall. So I think they should be able to buff out the right side of his truck, and he should be good to go. As Qualls has made a move on Boston Jones for 40th. A lot of these drivers still have just been stuck in that draft line. As someone is jumping the pit road, that is the 4 of Laura Chung. We can get a read on her. There she goes. So she is, I believe, the first one to jump to pit lane. No one else made the move, so Chung trying a bit of an undercut here from back in the pack. Not a bad call, I have to say. Any of these drivers back here in undercut would not be a bad call. You see Dylan Young is trying to poke his way into the top 30 now. Christian Russell has made it up to 21st. See some drivers moving forward, some drivers moving backwards. Turner's in a 3 wide situation there with Michael Norman and Trey Smith as the 4 has completed her pit stop. Seth Cole is up into the top 10 now. He's looking on the inside of Sorlin. And while the ratings are not done like they are in the Digital Storm Cup Series, it doesn't seem to have mattered. Seth Cole is showing his road course knowledge. He won at this track in 2020 in the NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. And they are 3 wide for the lead. That's Fitzwater on the inside of Rowe and McIntire. But he will get out of the gas. He is coming to pit road, and Rowe will jump down in front of him. Mad drivers coming to pit road here on lap number 9. Boston Jones, Brandon Yodel will stay out along with Ellison, Keith Kent, Wes McCoy, and others, and that's going to help a lot of them out be able to just throw it into the pit lane. And I'm surprised that Matt McIntyre stayed out. I would have thought he would wanted to have pit there because he has been in the front a lot of this run. Perhaps just being up top 3 wide, not the safe call for him to jump it to pit lane. Zorlin, McShane, Nareza, Owen Miles, Mitchell Collins, Richard Johnson, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drivers stayed out. Rowe will be the first one out of his group. Seth Cole and Fitzwater will exit side by side. And there's Laura Chung. Look at how much ground Laura Chung gained by pitting when she did. Great call by the 4 team here, especially with the stage caution coming out here at the end of lap 14. We should expect the rest of the field to come down pit road now. Mashburn has pit as well, and they will fix their damage now instead of later. But Matt McIntyre will lead the rest of the leaders down. Boston Jones will avoid ramming into the back of James Ellison. Mashburn is out and away. It took them 20 seconds to bang on it. We'll see how up to speed he is. That's actually a lot of time to be banging on it for something that looked to have been just right side damage. But his truck appears to be up to speed. He might be in danger of going a lap down now, though. Matt McIntyre will be the first one out of his stall. But I believe Alexander Rowe will be leading here. And indeed he will. So McIntyre and Zorlin will come out behind Fitzwater, Tyler, Chung, Seth Cole, and Rowe as Chung makes a move for the race lead from outside the top 25 before pit stops to fighting for the lead. What a strategy call by this 4 team. Ooh, Cole and Tyler leaning hard there on the doors. Gonna take a look here at the field as they run it into turn 4. Carl Harper, Brandon Mayhew, as LJ Toledo and several trucks are on pit road, and I believe this is caution worthy. The 52 appears to have been destroyed, and caution flag is out. Something has occurred somewhere. And this will preemptively end the stage 3 laps early, with Laura Chung as the race leader. When you see 3 trucks on pit road like that, you know something happened, and you know that that is definitely caution worthy without seeing it. And that is what you play with when you do this stuff live, having to throw the yellow yourself. You know, just give it the benefit of the doubt. Yep, there you see all the skid marks out of turn 2. Definitely big junk occurred. Pace truck taking its time. Want to make sure no one stacks her up here. It looks like everyone should be A-okay, but LJ Toledo, Roger James, and Josh King. King especially appears to have the most damage. And this will allow Mashburn to avoid falling a lap down. His truck does appear to be up the pace. Hit 180 there at the line. As we'll see if the leaders elect to come back down to the pit lane. But before we see that, we'll take you guys to see what brought out the caution, and first what happened to Miles Mashburn there on lap 1. First, going to take a look at what happened to Miles Mashburn here on the first lap of the race. Looks like Stephen Cologne's going to get to his inside here through turn 3. And I guess Mashburn thinks he's about to be in a four-wide situation because he just crowds left. And Cologne gets into the wall. And right there, that turns Mashburn around. Cologne jumps down the track into Turner. And this wreck really almost could have been a lot worse. Really could have been a caution there right out the gate. But Mashburn's truck spins around and stays up against the wall, allowing everyone else to drive by. And we were able to stay green until the incident on lap 11. Alright, so this accident did not actually begin for the reason I thought it did. You're going to see Miles just turn into Richard Johnson coming off of pit road and turn Richard right up the track into traffic. He bounces it off the wall and everyone kind of checks up here. LJ Toledo is gonna look to the inside of Jesse Turner, but he gets into him. Little contact there. And then right here, gets into Turner again. Turns him down the track. Onto the apron. And then Toledo comes back up the track, and Vince Freeze has nowhere to go. Lane Sanders gets contact there with Turner, but there goes Stephen Cologne right around, back end into the wall, and Toledo spins out after Freeze hits the wall. And then Roger James is going to be the first one who makes contact here, just slams into LJ's truck. Roger spins off into the grass. Smoking there, his day obviously over. And LJ's going to try and get it back going here, and I don't know why, but Josh King was all the way down there and just drills him. See the front end completely destroyed on the 52. And all three of these drivers, their days are over. Let's take an onboard here with one of these drivers. On board with Josh King. See, King slows down, but he thought he had to go low, and then it was too late. That's going to be the end of his race. Let's take you guys to the race restart. Getting ready to go back racing. As mentioned, the stage was ended when that last caution was called, so there will not be a one-lap shootout here to end the stage. We are racing green to the end if the on-track conditions permit it. But LJ Toledo, Roger James, and Josh King all retiring from that accident. As you see, Vince Freeze, Richard Johnson, and Stephen Cologne all spending time to fix damage. Saw a lot of different strategies going on there. A lot of drivers took fuel only. Some people took tires, 2 if not 4. And some drivers stayed out. Those drivers were Jonathan Zorlin, Trey Smith, Keith Kent, James Ellison, James Qualls, and Miles Mashburn. So 6 drivers elected to stay on the racetrack. We'll see how that strategy plays out through to the end of the race. First man out was Seth Cole, Alexander Rowe in 8th, Austin Tyler in 9th, and Owen Miles rounds out the top 10 as we saw several drivers suffer on pit lane, such as Laura Chung, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Matt McIntire, and Michael Norman all the way back here. But it'll be interesting to see if the 51, 34, and 25 are up to pace. If they are a certain amount off the pace, then they will be black flagged and they will be parked. And basically how you park somebody is you DQ them. 3 wide into turn 1 though goes, or turn 2 rather, goes James Ellison. Ellison trying to get his way to the front and challenge for the lead after being at the back most of the first stint. You see the difference in the tires between the field. Miles Mashburn, though, appears to be A-OK after his lap 1 incident. He is holding up pace here in the draft. We'll be able to see for sure here after turn 5. As Zorlin continues to lead, those guys that stayed out should not have to pit until about lap 20 or so. As Mashburn will file in line in front of the 76 of Wes McCoy. And you can kind of see it. He's not getting as much draft as Rowe. Yep, there you can see his truck is kind of struggling to get past the $194. No, not really. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide for the lead there. That's Qualls on the inside, pushing Zorlin all the way up top. And Zorlin will fall way back here now, all the way to the top in turn 2. So I believe Keith Kent, the first one out of the drivers who pit, trying to move forward. Actually, it might be Alexander Rowe. Ooh, look at Ellison get squirrely there in turn 4. Qualls on his inside now, coming to this corner, outside that corner. That's Trace Smith looking for the race lead. So far, it appears everybody who was involved in the accident that remained on the track is up to pace. Let's take a jump to the back here. There you can see Brandon Mayhew. He appears to be maybe one of the guys actually with significant damage. Vince Friese's truck appears to be okay. You see, actually, Stephen Colon has no back end. Richard Johnson appears to be okay as well. But Mayhew is keeping up here in draft a little bit, but it looks like he might lose it. Only 191 at the line. Vince Friese also kind of off pace. Those two might end up drafting together. That would keep them above minimum speed. So Michael Norman is all the way down outside of the top 30 after that caution flag round of pit stops. Christian Russell still mid-pack. Vargas is down outside of the top 20 now, I believe. Brandon Yodel benefited big from pitting a lap later than most of the field. Matt McIntire is outside of the top 10 at the moment, same as Austin Tyler. Mashburn, man, he went from starting top 10, getting wrecked, and now running top 10. But that truck appears to have definitely some kind of aero damage on the right side of it. Right now, though, Keith Kent is the race leader. The difference in tires not seeming to matter too much for them, along with James Ellison, as Wes McCoy has found himself up to 3rd. As now Rowe is stuck on the top without draft. Ooh, and Chung will make a move with Trace Smith. And now she's looking to maybe make it 3 wide. But she thinks better of it. But, ooh, she's going to get put to the outside there by Seth Cole. As Ellison looks to take the lead from Keith Kent, Wes McCoy right on his bumper. So far, the 11 still with the fastest lap on the sheet. Now you see the slowest only being the 74, but he is only managing a 1:17.8 even in this pack. So I definitely believe that that 74 will eventually fall to the rear. If you're just joining us, only 3 trucks out of the race. Mashburn was spun on lap 1. No caution flag was thrown as no one else was involved. But there was an accident on lap 11 that brought out the caution and ended the stage early. As now they are gonna go 4 wide for the race lead. Trace Smith, what a move. Back to 3 wide, maybe back to 2. No, now Chung, who was 5th at the line, is looking 3 wide. But Trace Smith will ease away from everyone to take the race lead. Keith Kent back into 2nd. James Qualls, another one of those drivers who was all the way at the back of the field before all the pit stop stuff shuffled everything up. But your ones to watch so far today have been guys like Zorland, Matt McIntire, Alexander Rowe, Fitzwater Sr., and so on. As there is the 33, the 16 of Seth Cole, and the 18 of Enzo Nereza. They are near the end of the first run, moving their way forward. They could be players here late in the game, but the pit stop strategy stuff is really going to make things interesting if we don't get another caution. Kent and others getting a huge run there on Trace Smith. Kent makes the move. Chung goes with him. McCoy made a move of his own, but he had no assistance. And Kent will be pushed forward into the lead as Mashburn has elected to come to pit road. See, Mayhew has lost the draft, but he is up to speed there, running 120s around the racetrack. A Mayhew pit from about here. It did not disrupt this pack much at all. As Chung and Kent fight for the race lead. Mashburn will make his second four-tire pit stop of the race and return to the racetrack. We'll see where he ends up without draft. He was about just outside the top 10, I want to say. He definitely has some aero damage as McCoy checks up heavily there on the bottom of turn 5. Rowe will make a move to his inside. Zorland looking to follow. Not sure if anyone else is going to pit here. That was one of the 6 trucks there that stayed out, was Mashburn. And it looks like Keith Kent is making his move. So is Zorland. Smith, Qualls, Enzo Nereza actually coming in early after pitting under the yellow. So the strategy is definitely all shuffled up now. Expect all of these drivers to take 4 tires and fuel as Rowe makes a move on Chung into turn 2. And now the last caution happened after something coming off a pit road, so that'll definitely be something to watch. As this cycle continues, we want to be on it this time with the caution. Don't want to throw a late caution after everyone hits pit road. See Mashburn where he comes out here compared to those that pit. Keith Kent was the first out of his group, and I think it was like right about here. Someone must have gotten hit here right when they went into turn 2. Rowe is the race leader. Flawless pit stops there for everybody. McIntyre's holding high. I think these 3 might be coming in. Nope, it's just Wes McCoy. Ellison will jump down as well. I believe those were the other 2 who stayed out under the yellow. Ellison has one of the first pit stalls on the track. You see Mayhew has definitely fallen off pace here, but he is 4.5 seconds off a fast draft. Well, actually, he's 5 seconds off a fast draft lap, but he's holding speed at about 177. I think that is good enough. Vince Freeze has actually made some ground forward up to 26. Man, Tyler has really fallen. He's down to 25th. Norman moving back forward up to 22nd. Logan York has made ground. He's in 14th. Lane Sanders was up front earlier from where he qualified. He's currently 12th. Charles Sanford's up to 9th. Boston Jones 8th. As Dylan Young has made it up into the top 10. Wow. No incidents from these drivers coming out of pit road. McCoy will come out right in front of Keith Kent. If you can make it to about, I want to say this lap right here and then lap 32, I believe you can make it to the end on gas from 2 more stops, as it looks like everybody is pitting here. This is going to help Mayhew close up a ton. Yes, indeed. You can see they are clogging it up on pit entry. This is going to let Mayhew get right back into somebody's draft. As he has the 41st pit stall. Ooh, actually makes contact there with William Brock. Dylan Young already done with his pit stop. You see Seth Cole, Boston Jones right behind him. Fitzwater will come out next to him. Matt McIntyre might get stuck in his stall here again. There he goes. All right, this is what we got to watch. Rowe will come out here right next to the pack. Oh, it gets a little squirrely there. Looks like everyone else might be okay. That appears to be the case. Ellison, the race leader. Keith Kent, second. McCoy, third. Zorlin, fourth. Qualls, fifth. Nareza, sixth. And then Rowe, seventh. Young, eighth. Chung, ninth. Seth Cole, 10th. Trey Smith, Mashburn, Fitzwater, Boston Jones appear to be in the main group. Sanford, McIntyre, Yodel, McShane, Owen Miles, they might have a chance at drafting up here, but I'm not sure the tire strategy. Oh, actually, no, there's a big gap from Rowe to Nareza. But as they run, James Ellison is your race leader. We will take a quick break here. We won't be gone too long. You won't miss much. But we are halfway through the third running of the NNSCRA Honeydew Donuts 250K as they are 3 wide. Nope, make it 2 wide for the lead. Keith Kent will take it, and we're going to go to break. We are back here from Papyrus Motorsports Park. Keith Kent leads it over James Ellison, Zorlin, Wes McCoy, and James Qualls. Nareza right there in 6th as Seth Cole leads the second group in 7th, which includes Laura Chung, Trey Smith, Dylan Young, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Alexander Rowe, Boston Jones, and Miles Mashburn. As you see Sanford, Matt McIntyre, Yodel, and Priya McShane closing up in a little group of their own. 19 laps to go here at the start-finish line. As things are getting dicey once again. These drivers really making a show for the fans. Seth Cole's group appears to be closing in. The tire difference is pretty obvious. And what is currently a 6-truck group should expand into a 13 truck group. 14 trucks. But James Ellison is the one who currently leads it. Zorlin there behind him in second. Really, any of these drivers can win if they put themselves in the right place at the right time. But what's going to be interesting to watch here, I think, is when these drivers elect to pit, because I believe, as Fitzwater made such an aggressive move, I thought he was pitting. I believe if these drivers pit at lap 31 coming to 32 or later, they can make it. However, if they pit from 30 coming to 31, I'm not sure if you can make it 13 laps on a full gas tank. I'm not positive. But so far, these drivers, like I said, just putting on a great show as now Keith Kent has taken the lead. And it is a mess behind the 45. Ellison side by side with Zorlin. Qualls. As now Seth Cole's group has closed the gap right up to the bumper of Enzo Nareza. Chung, Fitzwater, Young, Rowe, Boston Jones. I believe Trey Smith is going to be a little short here. No, he should be good along with McIntyre, Yodel, and Sanford. Priya McShane, I believe, is also in draft here, but I believe that's the extent of it, because after Miles Mashburn, there is no sign of anybody. As we have stayed green since that caution. Mayhew and Cologne in draft. As Ellison takes back the lead. Keith Kent losing a ton of positions due to the draft play there. Things are going to start to get a little interesting here. As some guys hitting the apron there. Through turn 5, it can be pretty sketchy sometimes going into that corner. Oh, and I'm seeing some drivers pull up the track. And I think some drivers are going to pit here. Yes, indeed. Seth Cole, Laura Chung, Dylan Young, Matt McIntire, Priya McShane, Miles Mashburn, all coming down here on lap 27. And they will definitely have to pit again. Many, many drivers coming to pit road here. So perhaps it is going to be a fuel mileage race after all. Ellison still leads, and maybe no one's going to try and stretch it to lap 31 here. I'm a little surprised, to be honest. After seeing them go 10 laps before, those drivers that made it to lap 21, 22, I really would have thought, or maybe it was just 2021, but I really would have thought those drivers would have tried stretching it 10 laps, 11 laps, you know? Everyone coming out of the pit lane here. Seth Cole leading them. Chung, Young, Matt McIntire. Talk about a tongue twister. Let's see who comes down this time here. 28 to 29. Ellison will stay out. Fitzwater included. Decent number of drivers staying out there, but Nareza will lead down Zorlin, Qualls, Keith Kent, Yodel, and Trey Smith. This group stays out, all of them together. Richard Johnson will be the lone one to pit here from that group. .34 actually looks like it might have some front end damage. It might just be the shape of the front nose, though. Still a decent number of trucks on the racetrack. We're going to watch pit exit here. Mayhew and Cologne have yet to pit as well. Nareza will lead out his group. And he'll come out right next to Seth Cole. Ooh, almost contact there with Young and Chung. Ellison will lead him around to the start-finish line again, and it looks like he's got a hand out the window. He's coming in. Fitzwater, Rowe, Boston Jones, and Sanford stay out. And those four might be in line to make it on one more pit stop. Vargas, Lane Sanders, they'll stay out. Austin Tyler, Corey Raymond, Jesse Turner. Pit strategy, boys. Pit strategy. Cement Oskin, he's by himself. He'll stay out. Will the 25 or 8 come in? And yes, they will. So that left 10 trucks on the track. Boston Jones has taken the race lead for now. And Ellison and Wes McCoy the first out of their group. There goes Nareza, Young, Seth Cole, and others. And Charles Sanford is actually going to stay out another lap. As Boston Jones, Fitzwater, and Rowe, they come in. Vargas and Lane Sanders come in. Looks like everybody but the 2 truck have decided to come in this lap. 30 to 31, that would be 12 laps on a gas tank. I don't know if you can stretch it 12 laps, to be honest, after seeing what some drivers have done. Sanford is going to lose a ton of time here with the tire wear, but it might win him this race. And they are 3 wide here for what could be the race lead. Oh, door banging is Seth Cole and Dylan Young. Vargas and Sanders will return to the racetrack, as will everyone else. Where is Ellison in all of this? There he is. He's right there with Wes McCoy and others. And Sanford will be the last one down to the pit lane. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Can Charles Sanford make it on 11 laps of gas? And will everyone else have to come back down pit road? Seth Cole leads the pack. Sanford out of his stall. And Seth will be in a 3-wide situation in a hornet's nest as Chung takes the race lead. And it is madness up here. Let's see where the 2 truck comes out. There he goes. Right behind Miles Mashburn with the freshest set of tires on the racetrack. And it's Matt McIntyre fighting Chung for the race lead. That gives us a 12-truck pack currently fighting for the race win. But the real question here is, when will these drivers pit? Because a lot of them definitely will not make it without pitting again. We saw Seth Cole, I believe, come in on lap 27 to 28. And will these drivers short pit it? You saw how long Sanford stayed out. What is the delta from these race leaders to the 2 truck? McIntyre, the pole sitter, back out front with what is 11 laps to go. The 2 of Sanford is 7.5 seconds back. Even if these drivers pit, I think they're going to lose a lot more time. Sanford might have just won this race, but if any of these drivers in front of him, if they can make it, they're going to win instead, I believe. I don't think the 2 will be able to catch. But it is now nearly a 18-truck pack. Actually, there's a bit of a split there from the 50 to the 16. As things are getting interesting at the front, 3 wide almost everywhere. As McIntyre continues to lead it. 10 to go, this time by. Seth Cole, I believe, was the first one to pit last time around on the cycle. And that second group, they are inching forward, but them passing each other for position ain't helping any of them. As Sanford gets caught by Brock Aaron Abel. And Owen Miles Mashburn was just passed by the 2. As McIntyre continues to lead, McCoy will make a move here. That's 3 wide with Dylan Young and Keith Kent. Total of 37 drivers ran a lap time faster than a 1:17.0, and Mashburn, of course, never really got a chance to run a good lap because he was damaged early, but still a 1:17.3 for him. McIntire leads it as Brandon Yodel closes up on his back bumper. Yodel, another one of those drivers who was all the way at the back of the field, back at the beginning of the race, but that caution and the strategy played in that first run allowed him to jump all the way up into, I believe it was the top 15, if not the top 20. And that second group has closed the distance. Charles Sanford is closing the distance as well. But here they come. Fitzwater, Rowe, Boston Jones, Trey Smith, Will Parrish, Logan York. We haven't seen the 3 or the 02 fighting at the front all day. Let's take a run through the field here one last time. You see Mitchell Collins, William Brock, Aaron Abel, and Charles Sanford all trying to close up. This is where everyone really has no shot. Carl Hopper. Man, what a tough break for guys like Vargas, Lane Sanders, Michael Norman. They were fighting for the win at the beginning of the race, but it is a race, and you can't win at the beginning. Jesse Turner, Austin Tyler, also guys that we saw at the front. As here we go, pit stops already. McCoy and Yodel come in. Parrish, Logan York, Brock, Mitchell Collins, Abel, and Owen Miles all down pit road. Yep, here you go. You're seeing a lot of drivers jump down. I believe it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for them. As McIntire continues to hold the lead, Ellison was one of those guys that stayed out the longest. And it is 4 tire pit stops for those drivers. This will move Charles Sanford up in the 15th, but he's all by himself again. These guys are merging at the back with trucks with damage. McIntire leading, but Ellison puts a move on him. They're going to be coming to 7 laps to go. And I see trucks jumping to the top. Who's pitting here? I think it's just Dylan Young. Oh, Laura Chung coming in. Trey Smith almost got wrecked by Seth Cole, I believe. Boston Jones and Rowe in as well. Mashburn will jump it into the pit lane. Vargas and many others coming in behind. Charles Sanford now in 9th. Trey Smith in 8th, but he lost touch with these guys in the draft. As Mayhew coming out of pit road is going to stack them up. It's going to let Sorlin take the lead as Nareza gets blocked. Now McShane gets very tight there on the top, entering turn 4. Mad drivers exiting pit road. Gotta watch this stuff. Gotta make sure it's safe. Yodel is leading McCoy. Dylan Young coming out right there. Chung. Oh, this could get sketchy. Seth Cole lost a lot of time on pit road from the looks of things. Who's pitting now? Sorlin leads, but he pits. Everyone from this group has pit. And that will give the lead to Charles Sanford. And that's it. Sanford is the only one yet to pit. Everyone else comes down. That last group that just pit, they took 4 tires and fuel. What will this group do here with 6 laps to go? Can you afford to take 2 tires here? Oh, I'm seeing 4 tires from Zorlin. I'm seeing 4 tires from everybody. 4 tires and fuel for all of these guys. So there goes Yodel and McCoy. They are in prime position here. Dylan Young leading his group out. Here comes Zorlin. Oh, and this could get sketchy. Make sure these guys are safe about this stuff. And it appears everyone is. So now the question just is, does Charles Sanford pit? He's coming in. He can't make it. They're saying he's not going to make it by himself. And I think staying out there, as long as he did, he should have pit with that pack the last time they pit, because this was not the call to make. And they're going to take 4 tires, not even a 2-tire stop with 5 laps left. Out of his stall he will go, but there goes Yodel and Wes McCoy. They are first and second, and McCoy's going to make a move in turn 1. Making sure pit road is indeed empty. Those things are getting very sketchy up here. There goes Charles Sanford out of his stall. It is mayhem right here with Parrish, Fitzwater, and Zorlin. It's Young and Keith Kent up ahead. And it is on now. All of these drivers can make it. McCoy and Yodel have a 4-second gap back to Keith Kent. But if they fight side by side like this with the effective draft around this racetrack, they are going to lose a ton of time. We're going to look at speeds here at the start-finish line at 4 laps to go. Wes McCoy at the line, 191 miles an hour. These guys are slower, but the guys behind them are flying. Ellison, 196 in the turn 1. And I believe there are up to 22 trucks that have a chance at winning this thing. They'll make it maybe 21. It all depends on how they play out this draft. Not to mention they've got the best tires compared to these two. Keith Kent was 0.8 faster that time by. But I really think Yodel and McCoy might have done a great job pitting when they did. Not even really, I think, a chance for an incident to occur here. Except for maybe this pack here. Behind the leaders. It's Kent in 3rd, Zorlin 4th, Dylan Young 5th, Parrish in 6th. And Young, what a move on Zorlin in turn 6. Poked his nose in there. Great move by Dylan Young. You want to be one of the first drivers that catches the top 2. 3 laps to go. Margin only goes down by 0.3 of a second. If Yodel and McCoy continue the draft, they should be good. Kent wasn't sure what was going to go on there. Young, he'll get put to the top by Zorlin. And it is mayhem back here. Over an hour into this race. These drivers putting it all on the line. But can they even catch the top 2? McCoy can't get enough of a run on his own to make another move, it seems. But the second he makes a move on Yodel will be when the rest of the field catches up. Keith Kent can see them in the distance. McCoy's closing the gap. Off the final corner. He will make a move coming to the start-finish line. 2 laps to go in the NNSCRA Honeydew Donuts 250K. That time the margin dropped half a second. But it's got to get more drastic. If these guys race around the track side by side, it'll help this pack big time, but the pack's doing the same thing. But the pack has draft, and you can see them catching already. Yodel holds off McCoy once again. These two would love to just battle it out by themselves. But here comes the 45. As Michael Norman has come to pit road, and Young got very squirrely there. Norman had to pit for some reason. 3 wide mayhem here in this pack. White flag this time by. Young and Fitzwater getting huge runs here on Zorlin. White flag in the air. McCoy will try one more time. That time another second drops, but I don't think the pack has time. Can McCoy get him? Side by side with Brandon Yodel. Once again, Yodel with more grip. He'll clear him off the corner. Once again, Brandon Yodel. What a defensive drive over Wes McCoy. Young, Keith Kent, Fitzwater will lose all kinds of spots here by that driving. Bad move by Fitzwater. Can Kent or Dylan Young close up the distance? Dylan's gonna clear Kent for third. I think maybe not. I don't think they have time. Through turn 6. What a strategy by these two, and what a defensive drive by Brandon Yodel. McCoy's going to get one last run here. Will he be able to make a move? No. Brandon Yodel will win the third running of the NNSCRA Honeydew Donuts 250K. One more lap, and things would have got pretty crazy there. Dylan Young will come home third. Zorlin fourth. Keith Kent fifth. Oh, and they crashed! McCoy got spun. Wow, I'm not sure what happened there. Nereza 6th, Chung 7th, Fitzwater 8th, pole sitter Matt McIntire 9th, and Seth Cole rounds out the top 10. Results are official. Boston Jones, Alexander Rowe, James Ellison, Will Parrish, Logan York, top 15. Mitchell Collins, Priya McShane, William Brock, James Qualls, Aaron Abel, top 20. Anybody there in the top 20 had a shot at the end, because those packs all formed up together there by the end of the race. Trey Smith, Owen Miles, Corey Raymond, Charles Sanford, Carl Hopper, RJ Rosero, Miles Mashburn, Austin Tyler, Diego Yepes, Christian Vargas, top 30. And then there's the rest of your results. Jesse Turner, Richard Johnson, Christian Russell, second running of the event's winner there. Russell in 33rd this time around. Vince Freeze, Lane Sanders, Samet Oskin, Michael Norman, Stephen Colon, and Brandon Mayhew, the runners-up there that finished in the race. Nobody a lap down. 3 trucks out of the race. LJ Toledo, Roger James, and Josh King. Thank you, everybody, for watching this event. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for participating. I feel like this race was pretty good. And now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go rest my voice because it is waning here. Brandon Yodel, you're a winner here this time around, and I'll see you guys for the NRSL Crown Royal 300 sign up sometime next month. So be on the lookout for that. Until then, peace out.